Now in this lesson we're looking at addition with different denominators. Examples. Let's find firstly 2/5 plus 1/4. Now we can see then that the denominators are different. We'll start by way of illustrating with a diagram. We have 2 whole there. We'll look at 2/5 though, and 2/5 we can break up the first whole into fifths and shade in 2 parts. That's 2/5. The 1/4, we'll look at the second whole, break that up into quarters and shade in one of them, 1/4. Now, the way we're going to be considering this, we have 5 and 4 as the denominators. So we're dealing with fifths and quarters. Now what we need to think about is the smallest number 5 and 4 both divide into, the lowest common multiple. And that would be 20. So we're going to be dealing with 20ths. And that is known as our lowest common denominator, the 20. 5 and 4 both go into 20. So because we're dealing with 20ths, let's break up each diagram into 20ths. Alright, and that's now we can start adding them, you see. We can take the 1/20 there from the second diagram, move it across, move that one across, we move this one across, next one across, and then the final one across. And then we can see if we count up that, we have 13 parts shaded out of 20. So just focusing on that, our answer then is 13/20. Righto, that's how we do it with the diagram. What about if we don't want to draw a diagram, which of course we don't in most cases? What we need to do is look at the 5. How have we changed that to 20? Right, to change the 5 to a 20, we multiply by 4. So what we do to the bottom, we do to the top. Now moving on, what about that 4? How have we changed that to 20? Well, to do that, we multiply by 5. So do the same to the top as well. So we have 2 times 4, which is 8, a plus sign in the middle, and then 1 times 5 is 5. So we can see that we have 8 plus 5, which is 13, over the 20. And that's why we're getting 13/20. Now we see our answer then matches up with the one we got from our diagram. Okay? I'm glad it did. If we didn't, we'd have real problems. Example 2. 2/5 plus 1/2. Now this time without a diagram, 5 and 2. We need to think of a number, the lowest common multiple. What does the smallest number that 5 and 2 both go into? Well, that number is 10. They both divide into 10. And focusing on the 5, how do we get that to 10? We multiply by 2. We do the same to the top. What about the 2? How have we changed that to make it 10? Well, we need to multiply by 5 to make 10, so we do the same to the top as well. So let's see what we have. We have 2 times 2, which is 4, then a plus, then 1 times 5 is 5. So we have on the top 4 plus 5 is 9, and it's over 10. So we have 9 on 10 as our answer. Example 3. 3/4 plus 1/5. Well, 4 and 5, what's the lowest common multiple there? What's the denominator we require? Well, 4 and 5 both go into 20. So we're dealing with 20 there. Now, how have we changed the 4 to make it 20? Well, to do that, we times by 5 and do the same immediately to the top. How have we changed 5 to make it 20? Well, to do that, we need to multiply by 4. So we'll do the same to the top. So we have 3 times 5 is 15. Then we have plus, and 1 times 4 is 4. So let's simplify that now. 15 plus 4 is 19. So our answer there is 19 over 20. Terrific. Example 4. 3/10 plus 1/2. Now we look at the denominators, 10 and 2. Now you might be thinking, well, both go into 20, alright, because it looks like we multiplied, okay, in the previous 3 examples, just multiply those numbers, but there is a smaller number that 10 and 2 both go into. And that number, in fact, is 10, alright? Both 10 and 2 divide into 10. So let's look at the 10. What have we done to that 2, turn it into 10. Well, in fact, we've done nothing. We can leave that alone, which we will. Move on to the 2, though. To make that into a 10, we need to times by 5. So we'll do the same to the top as well. So let's see, that 3. Remember, we didn't need to do anything to that first fraction, so that remains as 3. Then we have plus, and then 1 times 5 is 5. So we have 3 plus 5, which is 8. 8 over 10. Now, is that our final answer? Not sure. Let's have a look at it. 8 and 10. Can we break that down? Can you think of a number that divides into both 8 and 10? Well, hopefully you're thinking 2. Divide by 2 on the top and on the bottom by 2 as well. So let's see. 8 divided by 2 is 4. On the bottom, 10 divided by 2 is 5. So our final answer there, 4/5. Terrific. Our last example here, 2/3 plus 3/4. Well, 3 and 4, what's the smallest number that they both go into? Well, in this case, it's 12. So the 3, how do we change that to 12? We need to times by 4, so we do straight away to the top as well. 4 to make 12, we need to times by 3. We do the same to the top. So let's see what we have. We have 2 times 4, which is 8, plus in the middle, and 3 times 3 is 9. So 8 plus 9 is 17, so our answer is 17 over the 12. Now, as before, we might be able to break this down, not by dividing by the same number, but by changing it to a mixed numeral. At the moment, it's an improper fraction. So we say, how many 12s go into 17? Well, it goes once, so there is a remainder. The remainder is 5. So we put that remainder over the 12 as 5/12. So final answer there, 1 and 5/12.